Okay. Have you ever found yourself, really wrestling with a secret?
Hmm.
Maybe it's a feeling that's just so huge or an experience that's so overwhelming that you just felt this urge, this need to get it down on paper.
Definitely. Like you just have to get it out somehow.
Exactly. And you poured out every single raw thought, every unexpressed wish, all the messy feelings.
Mhm.
But here's the thing. There was this unspoken rule, right? This whole outpouring.
Mhm.
It was never, ever meant for anyone else to see.
Right. Just for you.
So what kind of, I don't know, quiet, almost magical power do you think that holds? Writing something so deeply personal and then just tucking it away.
Well, it's more than just a cool thought experiment, isn't it?
Yeah.
That tension you mentioned between this totally uncensored expression and absolute privacy, it hints at something really real, a deep psychological process that I think a lot of us kind of get intuitively, but maybe don't often talk about.
Totally. And that tension, that's exactly what this deep dive is all about today. We're exploring the unexpected, sometimes really transformative power of putting pen to paper without expecting or even wanting a reply.
Right.
So today we're going on a bit of a journey. It starts in the pretty vibrant fictional world of Lara Jean Song-Covey from To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Yes. The letters.
Exactly. We'll look at how her, unique habit gives us this fascinating window into the very real, very deep psychological upsides of cathartic writing, expressive writing.
Okay, so our mission then is basically to pull out the key insights from our sources.
Yeah.
We want to show how these unsent letters, they can be like a shortcut almost to self-discovery, a really powerful way to release emotions, and maybe even a tool for healing from tough stuff, like, say, unrequited love.
Right. Finding your own way to process things without needing anyone else to chime in or validate it.
Precisely. It's about that internal agency.
And we've got a really rich stack of sources to help us unpack all this today. We'll be diving into some insightful interviews with the author, Jenny Han, who, created Lara Jean's world.
Okay.
And alongside that, we'll look at reviews, analyses of the whole To All the Boys franchise, the books, the huge Netflix films, even the spin-off.
It really became a phenomenon.
It did.
Yeah.
But we're not just sticking to pop culture. We're bridging that with some pretty compelling evidence-based research on therapeutic writing, catharsis, the specific power of unsent letters, drawing on psychology and wellness institutes.
It was kind of a mix, like pop culture meets practical mental well-being tool.
Exactly, that blend should be fascinating. So let's get into it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start where I think a lot of us first bumped into this idea. Lara Jean Song-Covey.
Huh.
Her story, which Jenny Han crafted so well, really pushed this whole concept of the unsent letter right into the mainstream spotlight.
For sure.
For anyone who maybe hasn't dived into her world, To All the Boys I've Loved Before started out as this huge New York Times bestselling trilogy. The first book was back in 2014.
Right. Then P.S. I Still Love You in 2015.
Yeah, and Always and Forever, Lara Jean in 2017.
Yeah.
These books, they just quickly found this really dedicated readership, pulling people into Lara Jean's kind of quirky, really heartfelt life.
And what's really interesting, I think, and what makes the whole fictional idea feel so grounded, so human, is where Han got the inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
She's actually shared that the whole letter writing thing, it came from her own habit when she was a teenager.
No way.
Yeah, writing these really personal love letters to crushes, but, and this is the key part, never actually sending them.
Wow. Okay, that makes it feel much more real.
Totally. That personal touch, it just gives Lara Jean's actions this real authenticity. It makes her instantly relatable to anyone who's ever had, a secret crush or feelings they just couldn't express out loud.
It absolutely does. That authenticity, that feeling like you're stepping into a real human moment, I think that's a massive part of why the Netflix movie adaptation, the one in 2018 with Lana Condor, just blew up.
Oh, it was huge.
It wasn't just a hit, it became Netflix's most rewatched movie that year. Just smashed expectations, really cemented itself in pop culture.
And the demand didn't stop there, did it?
Not at all. That huge viewership, it just fueled this massive demand for sequels. So it quickly turned into a whole franchise, movies in 2020, 2021.
And the spin-off series, XO Kitty.
Exactly. XO Kitty, just last year, 2023. The reach was incredible. Jenny Han actually talked about how Netflix gave it this global platform instantly, unlike, say, a traditional movie release.
Yeah. So fans everywhere could watch at the same time.
Right. Brazil, the Philippines, Mexico, they all got Lara Jean's story simultaneously. It created this real sense of a shared global experience.
Beyond just how popular it was, though, what really strikes me about Lara Jean's practice is how it worked for her. like as her own unique way of coping. We see her writing these 5, really intense, vulnerable letters to boys she's had major crushes on.
Yeah.
But the absolutely crucial part, the defining thing, is that these letters then get locked away, tucked into that teal hat box, never, ever meant to be sent.
Right. It's not just writing. It's like she's actively creating this private, completely unfiltered safe zone for her biggest feelings.
Exactly. A deliberate act of managing her own emotions.
And she even puts it into words herself, doesn't she? Something like, if love is like a possession, maybe my letters are like my exorcism.
Yes. Such a powerful metaphor.
It really is. It just perfectly captures that idea of getting these huge, maybe overwhelming feelings out of her system, like literally exercising them, freeing herself so she can move on.
Yeah.
But then, of course, the big plot twist, her little sister, Kitty, finds them and mails them out.
Chaos ensues.
Total chaos. Throws Lara Jean's super organized life into complete turmoil. And that accidental exposure, it really does highlight the hidden power, the potential impact these supposedly secret writings can have, even when they were never meant to see the light of day.
Absolutely. That plot device works so well because it dramatizes the potential for these private acts, these inner thoughts put on paper, to massively affect your actual life, even if it's completely unintended.
Yeah. It shows how much weight those unexpressed things carry.
Definitely.
But the movies, they're adorable and romantic, sure, but they're also about so much more than just typical teen romance. They dig into deeper themes that really connect with a lot of different people.
Like the family stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Songcovey sisters, Margot, Lara Jean, Kitty, they're shown as this incredibly close, really supportive family. And their dad, Dr. Covey, he's just so immensely lovable.
Yeah, the family dynamic is great.
And the story also weaves in their biracial identity really naturally. Their mom was Korean. You see it in details like the food, family visits, just celebrating their heritage quietly.
Which adds so much depth. Makes it more relatable for audiences who don't always see that kind of representation.
For sure. And this focus on character-driven storytelling, it's definitely a key reason the whole thing worked so well. Lara Jean herself, she's complex, right?
Yeah, she's described as quirky, has that childlike innocence.
But she's also messy, skeptical, judgmental, and a bundle of nerves. It's her relatability, even when she makes these epic blunders, like spilling a secret or completely misreading a situation that just pulls you in.
There's even like an MBTI analysis floating around, right? Calling her an INFP.
Yeah, the mediator or idealist. Apparently that points to her tendency to fantasize, stick to her values, and really understand others. She's not easily swayed, tries to do the right thing.
Makes sense for her character.
And it's not just her. The whole series kind of subtly pushes back against a lot of the standard teen rom-com tropes.
How so?
Well, for one, there's no cliched makeover scene where the nerdy girl changes to get the guy. Lara Jean's authenticity is just embraced. That's why she's loved.
That's a good point.
And the guys, especially Peter Kavinsky, they're shown in this really positive light. They respect boundaries. They're willing to actually talk about feelings.
Yeah, none of that toxic masculinity you sometimes see in older teen movies.
Exactly. And it's a really refreshing contrast to maybe the more jaded view of relationships that older audiences might have grown up with. There's this innocence and respect there.
And that point about challenging tropes, that really hit home for a lot of viewers, didn't it? Especially for underrepresented groups.
Hugely. For older Asian American women particularly, the film felt like more than just entertainment. One source said it recaptured an adolescence that we wish we'd had.
Wow.
It presented this 21st century message of care and possibility for Asian Americans that felt groundbreaking for many who grew up feeling invisible or stereotyped in mainstream white rom-coms.
I can see that.
Yeah, another source really emphasized how, for these older viewers, just seeing a character like Lara Jean Shai, bookish Asian American being, genuinely desired by not just one, but two great guys who openly liked her, that was thrilling.
A total departure from maybe what they saw growing up.
Totally. A stark contrast to a past where the romantic lives of women of color were often ignored or constrained by society and pop culture. Someone described the feeling as like a song I want to put on repeat. Just this deep, satisfying affirmation.
It's really powerful, but it does maybe highlight a bit of a generational thing, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, while older viewers are often celebrating the representation and the positive male characters, younger audiences who maybe grew up with more diverse media might take some of that for granted.
Ah, I see. Their critiques might be different.
Exactly. They might focus more on things like the initial casting, having mostly white love interests, or maybe they just see the rom-com tropes as, familiar cliches, not realizing how revolutionary it felt for a character like Laura Jean to own those tropes.
Right. It's like my generation was maybe starved for representations. We cheered for every crumb. But younger folks are seeing huge diverse hits as more normal. It's good progress, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
So this whole narrative around the unsent letters, whether it happened by accident in the plot or was Han's deliberate starting point, it really serves as our perfect bridge.
Okay.
It leads us right into understanding why Lara Jean's method, even when it got exposed, was so powerful for her personally, and how her fictional coping mechanism lines up so well with real psychological ideas.
Which brings us squarely to the concept of catharsis.
Yes.
That feels like the absolute core idea here, echoing through our sources, and really key to understanding the power behind those letters.
So what exactly is catharsis in this context?
Well, the Expressing Myself Institute defines it pretty neatly as an emotional release that leads to an inner cleansing, bringing relief and mental uplift.
Inner cleansing. I like that. It sounds almost physical, like washing away something heavy. And it's not a new idea at all, is it?
Not even close. The term itself has incredibly deep roots, goes way, way back.
Like ancient Greece back.
Exactly. Back to the Greek word katharein, which literally means to purify, cleanse, or purge. Aristotle talked about it in relation to tragedy.
Ah, okay. How did he see it?
He believed that when someone watched a tragedy, by really feeling empathy for the main character's fear and sadness on stage, the spectator themselves experienced this kind of liberating emotional release.
So, like, you process those tough emotions vicariously from a safe distance.
Pretty much. It wasn't just passive watching. It was about feeling those intense things and then being kind of freed from them, leaving you with a sense of clarity.
Interesting. And then much later, Freud brought it into psychoanalysis, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Freud strongly believed that repressed emotions, feelings pushed down, ignored, could actually bubble up as psychological symptoms like hysteria. So for him, releasing those pent-up emotions, which he called catharsis, was fundamental to healing. His student, Breuer, explored it further, using hypnosis to help people relive and release traumatic memories. It just underlines this long-standing idea that bottling things up isn't great, and letting them out safely is therapeutic.
So it sounds like it's not just about a big emotional outburst, though. There's more to it, like some kind of processing.
Yes, that's a really crucial point. Catharsis isn't just one thing. It has two main dimensions that work together.
Okay.
First, there's the immediate, gut-level emotional dimension.
Yeah.
That direct release, a sigh, tears, maybe even yelling into a pillow.
Right, the release itself.
But just as important, maybe even more so long-term, is the cognitive dimension.
Yeah.
This is about gaining new insight, reorganizing your thoughts, or maybe seeing the situation differently after that emotional release happens.
Yeah, okay. So the release clears the way for understanding.
Exactly. The relief and clarity can come during the release or afterwards. But ultimately, it's not seen as the end goal. It's more like the start of a bigger healing or transformation process, a shift.
Okay, that makes sense. So how does writing specifically help make this happen? Because it feels different from just, shouting. It's a deliberate act.
Writing offers this unique, as our sources put it, safe, uncensored space. It's a place where emotions that have been buried, pushed aside, maybe for years, can finally come to the surface without judgment, without immediate consequences.
Right, no one's going to react instantly.
Exactly. And it's especially good for managing really strong emotions, like intense anger or aggression. Psychotherapist Kate Thompson notes that writing allows for a controlled outburst on paper.
Controlled outbursts, I like that.
Yeah, it's a way to discharge that energy without consequences that are painful for the person in their relationships. And that's key because it gives you freedom to be totally honest, totally uncensored.
Just get it all out.
Yeah, focus on the raw feelings. Let them come unstuck. When you know you're writing just for yourself with zero fear of judgment, the writing becomes inherently free and authentic. No need to filter.
That makes so much sense. You don't have to worry about sounding weird or being too much or hurting someone's feelings. It's just you and the page.
Exactly.
And what about the feeling after? That relief. How does that actually show up for people physically or emotionally?
People describe it in really vivid ways, often quite consistently. They often say they feel lighter, like a great deal of weight has been lifted off their shoulders.
I can imagine.
It's often compared to how you feel after a good cry during a sad movie, that sense of relief and calm afterwards.
Yeah.
One person, Carolina, penned it really powerfully. Relief, only relief. A massive weight lifted from the chest. I'm breathing more easily. Another, Sophie, described it as a biological cleansing of the soul.
Wow. Biological cleansing of the soul. That's intense. It sounds like a really deep, almost physical reset.
It really does suggest that, doesn't it? And Kate Thompson also observed something fascinating about the physical act of writing itself.
Oh, yeah?
She noted how intense emotions can literally change how people write. Letters might get distorted, words might spill into the margins. Sometimes it becomes almost unreadable because the feeling behind it is so strong. One person, John, reflected on his writing becoming squeezed so tightly they fell out crooked and unintelligible. Unreadable probably to other eyes? I don't care. I wrote it for me and no one else.
That's amazing. It shows the raw expression itself is the point, not how pretty it looks.
Exactly. The cleanse, as he put it, is in the act, however messy. It's proof of authenticity.
So it's definitely not about crafting perfect sentences or winning a Pulitzer.
Not at all. Aesthetics are irrelevant. And it's important to circle back to the idea that while writing can lead to catharsis, that immediate release, it's not an end or objective in and of itself.
Right. It's the start of something.
Exactly. Our sources consistently frame it as the start of a process that may result in additional outcomes. It's not the destination, it's the launch pad for deeper processing, longer-term well-being.
Okay.
Which leads us perfectly into the broader practice that builds on this, expressive writing.
Okay, so if catharsis is that powerful, immediate blast of emotional release, then expressive writing sounds like maybe the wider framework, the ongoing practice that helps us access that release and then maybe process it more deeply over time.
That's a great way to put it. You've nailed the distinction.
So how would you define expressive writing itself? How's it different from just, say, keeping a daily diary?
Okay, so formally, expressive writing is defined as putting your thoughts and emotions down on paper in a free-flowing, unstructured manner.
Free-flowing, unstructured, got it.
The key difference from regular journaling is its specific focus on emotional experiences and your inner world. It's less about just recording what happened today and much more about digging into how you felt about what happened, exploring the emotional terrain of your life.
Ah, okay. So less went to the store, bought milk, and more felt really anxious at the store today, maybe because...
Precisely. It's about the why and how of your feelings, not just the what. Getting to the core of your internal experience.
Makes sense. And there's actual brain science behind why this works, isn't there? It's not just a feeling, it's doing something measurable up there.
Absolutely. This isn't just touchy-feely stuff, there's solid science. Expressive writing actually engages a whole network of brain areas, way beyond just the limbic system, which handles basic emotions.
Okay, like what areas?
When you write, you're activating Broca's area that's key for language and seeing words. You're using the cerebellum for the fine motor skills of writing. And you're even engaging the auditory lobe, which processes that inner voice or dialogue as you think about what to write.
Wow, so it's a whole brain activity almost.
It really is. And this multi-area engagement is significant. Sources suggest this synchronized activity helps us interpret and integrate our thoughts and emotions much better than just letting them swirl around in our heads.
So it's like how writing notes helps you remember things for a test. It solidifies the processing.
Exactly like that. It helps organize the mental data in a unique way. It's not just getting thoughts out, it's helping the brain structure and understand them. That's the real power, turning emotional chaos into something clearer, like creating a map of your feelings.
That's incredible, a cognitive workout for your emotions. So what are the big, tangible benefits people see for their well-being when they do this regularly?
Oh, the benefits are pretty numerous and quite profound. First off, enhanced self-reflection.
Okay.
By putting your inner world into words, you're essentially forced to gain insight into your thoughts and emotions. And doing that often helps you discover underlying issues or patterns you weren't even aware of.
Right, like connecting the dots between feelings and situations.
Exactly. And that understanding fuels personal growth and healing because you can start addressing the roots of things.
That sounds empowering. Instead of being baffled by feelings, you can start to name them, understand triggers.
Precisely. Second big one, reduced stress and anxiety.
Makes sense.
Writing about distressing things can actually reduce the intensity of negative emotions. It helps organize those scattered, chaotic thoughts into more of a narrative, which makes them feel less overwhelming and easier to cope with, like decluttering your mental space.
Good analogy. And I guess that leads to feeling better overall.
It does. Third benefit, improved mood. Many people report feeling genuinely lighter or more optimistic after getting emotions out and processing them. Makes daily challenges seem more manageable.
Okay.
And it's not just psychological. There are actual physical benefits, too. Research, especially from pioneers like Dr. James Pennebaker, is really compelling here.
Physical benefits from writing, like...
The studies have shown things like improved immune function, maybe fewer colds or doctor visits for people who write regularly, also measurable reductions in physical stress markers like blood pressure.
Wow. So processing emotional stress literally takes a load off the body, too.
It really seems to. Frees up resources the body might otherwise use just dealing with chronic stress. That mind-body connection is powerful.
Definitely. Any other big benefits?
Yeah, one more key area. New perspectives and even empathy.
How does that work?
Writing helps you gain a new perspective on a difficult situation. Organizing it into a story lets you step back, see it differently. Plus, you can intentionally try writing from someone else's point of view.
Ah, like trying to understand where they were coming from.
Exactly. Whether it's somebody you disagree with or just imagining another perspective, that practice can seriously improve your real-life relationships by building understanding and compassion.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly useful. For someone listening right now thinking, okay, I'm sold, but how do I actually start? It feels a bit daunting. What are some practical tips?
Great question. Our sources have some really good, accessible advice. First, simple but crucial. Set aside dedicated time.
Like scheduling it.
Yeah. Even just 10 or 20 minutes, daily or weekly. Consistency is the key. Like building any habit. It tells your brain, okay, this is our time to focus inward safely.
Makes sense, like going to the emotional gym.
Exactly. Then, find a comfortable, quiet space, somewhere you won't be interrupted. That physical safety helps create psychological safety, letting you relax and go deeper.
Okay.
Then, probably the most important tip, write freely and without judgment.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Totally. But really lean into it. Let your thoughts flow. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, making sense. Just get it down. You have to embrace vulnerability. There's literally no right or wrong way. Just be honest with yourself. No self-censoring.
Okay, permission to be messy. I like it.
Yeah.
What if you sit down and your mind goes blank?
That happens. You can use prompts if you need a nudge.
Like writing prompts.
Yeah. Things like, think about a time you felt really angry. What happened? What was underneath the anger? Or describe a time you felt overwhelmed. How did you handle it? They can just get the ball rolling.
Good idea. And is it just write it and forget it? Or is there value in looking back?
Definitely value in looking back. Revisit your writing sometimes. Reading past entries gives you perspective. You might see that once you've calmed down, your original doubt or fear has dissolved. It's like a window into the past. You can appreciate hurdles you've overcome, remember your own strength. It can be really validating to see your own growth on the page.
That sounds really powerful, actually, seeing your own journey.
It can be. Also, remember to explore different mediums. If pen and paper isn't your thing, type. Use a voice recorder if talking feels more natural. Even visual art can be expressive writing.
So find what works for you.
Exactly. The medium matters less than the act of expressing. And finally, just be patient with yourself. Dealing with big emotions takes time. There will be ups and downs. It's a journey, not a quick fix.
All really great practical advice, makes it feel much more achievable. And this leads us perfectly to that very specific, really potent form of expressive writing, the unsent letter. Lara Jean's story puts such a spotlight on this particular method.
It really did. And the unique power of the unsent letter, its special magic, really comes down to this. It offers honesty without performance and expression without consequence.
Honesty without performance. I like that.
Yeah. It creates this ultimate safe space to express your true feelings without any fear of judgment or repercussions. Zero. Which means you are totally free. You can be as honest, raw, and vulnerable as you need to be.
Even if it feels ugly or intense.
Absolutely. One source even says you can be downright vicious, angry, or even ridiculously over the top. The freedom, the magic is all tied up in that unsent part. You're the only audience.
Right, the ultimate safe space, because there's literally zero external feedback loop, no one to react or judge, just you. So how does that help you, the writer, kind of reclaim your story or your power in a tough situation?
It connects directly to ideas from narrative therapy.
Okay, what's that?
It's an approach that sees storytelling as key to healing, When you write an unsent letter, you're actively organizing what might feel like emotional chaos into a narrative, your narrative.
Right, you're making sense of it for yourself.
Exactly. And that process helps you separate yourself from your problems, see them more objectively, and maybe gain some distance and perspective. It gives you back a sense of agency.
Agency, okay.
Yeah, whether you're writing to someone you lost, an old version of yourself, or someone who hurt you, just telling your side, prioritizing your feelings is incredibly empowering. It lets you reclaim your own story and feel a sense of agency over the event, especially if you felt powerless before.
So, like, even if you're writing to someone who wronged you and they never see it?
It can still feel like you're standing up for yourself, asserting your truth, even just privately. It changes your relationship to what happened.
That makes a lot of sense. You're not trying to change them, you're changing how you hold the experience.
What about managing emotions, emotional regulation? How does the unsent letter help there?
This draws a lot on Dr. James Pennebaker's research again. He found that writing about intense stuff, especially in unsent letters, can significantly reduce anxiety, improve mood, and even boost immune function. We talked about the immune function, yeah.
Right. And the unsent letter, in this context, it becomes a container.
A container?
Yeah, like a safe box. A safe place to rage, grieve, long, or confess without fearing judgment or fallout. It's a psychological vault for your biggest feelings.
Okay.
This helps the brain actually process emotion instead of bottling it up, which we know is much healthier than suppressing things, which can lead to stress or physical issues. Externalizing helps the brain make sense of it all.
The container metaphor is really strong. And maybe one of the biggest benefits, the one people often crave, is getting closure, right? But without needing the other person to cooperate.
This is huge. Absolutely vital. It offers one-sided closure that doesn't require cooperation.
One-sided closure.
Yeah. Think about situations where talking to the other person is impossible or unsafe. Maybe they're abusive, maybe they've passed away. You can't get closure from them.
Right. Or maybe they just wouldn't understand or care.
Exactly. The unsent letter isn't about their response. It's about your internal resolution. Psychologist Guy Winch calls it emotional closure through private resolution.
Okay.
And it's described as a radical act of self-validation. It's you saying, I get to say what happened, what I felt, what I needed. Even if it's too late, even if no one answers, my feelings matter.
Wow. That takes the power back completely.
It does.
Yeah.
It lets you release that desperate need for their response and find peace within yourself on your own terms.
And there's also something about the physical act itself, right? Reading it. Then maybe doing something with the letter, like a ritual.
Yes, definitely. The physical act, choosing the paper, the pen, forming the words, can be really symbolic.
Yeah.
And afterwards, doing something with a letter can be incredibly cathartic for some people.
Like what?
Tearing it up, burning it safely, even burying it. These actions serve as a symbolic gesture of letting go, helping to solidify the emotional release that happened during writing.
Like a final step.
Exactly. It's a tangible way to signify, okay, I'm releasing this. This doesn't have power over me anymore. It turns a private writing act into a personal ceremony of release.
So, okay, we've gone from Lara Jean's hat box through catharsis and expressive writing to the power of the unsent letter. Let's bring this home now. How can we apply all this, especially the unsent letter idea, to something really common and often incredibly painful? Unrequited love.
Ah, yes, unrequited love. It's almost a universal experience, isn't it? And while movies sometimes make it look romantic.
Yeah, the whole grand gesture wins them over thing.
Right. In reality, it's often just deeply painful and destabilizing when your strong feelings for someone aren't returned, or not in the way you hope. And clinging to that romantic narrative can actually be harmful.
How so? What are the real impacts on someone's well-being?
Well, research shows it can lead to serious mental health challenges, depression, anxiety, even this weird, distressing euphoria, like tiny bits of hope followed by huge crashes.
That emotional roller coaster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It often creates feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, fear, which all feed into chronic stress. And ignoring the signs, just holding on to false hope. That usually makes things worse, prolongs the suffering.
Yeah.
Our sources even point out that the emotional pain can feel as real as a physical injury. The same brain regions light up. It's not just in your head. Your body is experiencing real distress.
That's such an important point, validating that the pain is real, physically real. So given how deep that pain goes, how can writing, therapeutic writing, help someone find acceptance and start healing?
Okay, the very first step, maybe the hardest, is simply to acknowledge your feelings.
Just admit them to yourself.
Yeah. Writing down your raw, unfiltered thoughts about it is so helpful because trying to ignore or suppress those intense feelings, it usually backfires, leading to more stress. Writing creates that safe space to just validate what you're feeling, no matter how messy. Give yourself permission.
Okay, permission granted, then what? How do you move towards acceptance, which feels impossible when your heart's aching?
It does feel impossible sometimes. And that's where a strategy called radical acceptance can be incredibly useful.
Radical acceptance.
Yeah. It means fully acknowledging, without fighting it, a reality you cannot change. In this case, the reality that the love isn't returned.
Okay. How does writing help with that?
Writing lets you express all the feelings that come with that reality. The disappointment, sadness, grief, anger. You let them arise on paper without trying to change the situation or acting on the feelings impulsively.
So you feel the feelings without trying to fix the unfixable.
Exactly. It's reminding yourself life can still be good even with this pain. You accept the reality, not necessarily liking the pain, but accepting it is what it is. You can practice by noticing when you fight reality, reminding yourself it can't change, exploring the causes of your pain, really trying to accept it with your whole being, maybe even listing things you'd do if you had accepted it.
That sounds structured, which could be helpful when emotions feel chaotic. So accepting what is frees you up to focus elsewhere.
Precisely. Accepting the reality allows you to pivot, which leads to the next step, shifting focus to self-care.
Ah, the put your own oxygen mask on first idea.
Totally. You're encouraged to focus on being the hero of your own story, not just a background character in theirs. By intentionally pouring energy into your own well-being, your needs, getting yourself to an emotionally safe place, often those intense feelings for the other person naturally start to lessen over time.
Taking care of yourself first.
You have to. You can't pour from an empty cup. You need to replenish yourself.
That feels like taking your power back, doesn't it? Instead of waiting for someone else, you're actively building your own emotional foundation.
Absolutely. And sometimes, especially if you're really struggling with being single, it's also about taking time away from relationship ideals.
Like questioning why you want a relationship so badly, or this relationship.
Exactly. Writing can help explore the deeper reasons behind those strong feelings, maybe redirecting your focus towards your own hobbies, passions, things that bring you joy, separate from anyone else. It helps you start looking for people who actually reciprocate, recognizing your own worth.
So it's clear this isn't just for unrequited love then. These writing tools seem much broader.
Oh, incredibly versatile. Therapeutic writing is definitely not just for healing a broken heart. It's a powerful, adaptable tool for dealing with a whole range of difficult emotions and life stuff.
Like what else?
Managing anxiety, navigating depression, processing grief, dealing with anger, reducing stress, combating loneliness, even working through trauma.
Wow, pretty much the whole spectrum of tough human experiences.
Right. Across the board, it provides that essential outlet for emotional expression. It boosts self-reflection, and it helps reduce stress. It's just a really solid, sustainable practice for anyone looking for better emotional understanding and well-being.
What an amazing journey we've taken today, seriously. From Lara Jean's teal hat box and her secret exorcisms, we've dug deep into the psychology behind catharsis, expressive writing.
Yeah, uncovering the benefits.
Exactly. Seeing how this simple, private act offers real emotional release, leads to self-discovery, shifts perspective, and genuinely helps with healing, even from really painful stuff.
It really is a powerful reminder of how much impact the written word can have, especially when it's just for our own eyes. That blend of total honesty and zero consequence is unique.
For sure. It acts like that safe container for our biggest feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So for you listening, as you think about your own emotional world, we really hope you'll consider maybe trying expressive writing, making it a tool in your own mental wellness kit.
Yeah.
Remember, you don't need an audience. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't even need a specific result for it to be helpful. It's the act itself, that commitment to exploring your inner world.
Every page, every word you get down, it really can bring you a bit closer to healing, to understanding yourself better.
Yeah. And that leads to a final thought, something maybe a bit provocative to leave you with.
Okay.
Writing just for yourself with absolutely no thought of an audience. That takes a really unique kind of courage, doesn't it?
It does. It's like this quiet refusal to perform, choosing authenticity over applause.
Totally.
Yeah.
So the question for you to maybe mull over is, what unspoken stories are waiting inside you, waiting to be written down? Not for anyone else to read, but purely for your own liberation.
Finding freedom in that private act of putting your truth on paper, just for you.